Let me know when you get that notification there, Paul, because
Yeah.
should be up.
I'll reload Twitch real quick.
I got the
and I say it's
notification.
live over on my.
Oh, I gotta change the stream update thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not doing your deep
I'm
cuts.
not doing that.
How
That
long
was
were
the
you live
other day.
for? I got I got a
40
notification that you went live like
45
18 minutes ago. Okay.
So not bad.
Somehow
Someone was watching it.
Nice.
What is this? This is Bagged and Board. And then we say episode 614.
I was at work. I was going to turn you on my phone and then just put you in my pocket.
That's okay. I would have been like, I'm a little boy in Paul's pocket. Everybody look at me. Look at me, I'm the little boy in Paul's pocket.
But that did not happen because I want to join and you were already done.
Yeah. I'll do another one next month. Or I guess the end of this month is what I should be saying.
There you go.
And there's no S in June, in case you were curious. Done. Updated. Should be sending that new one over soon.
Nice. Come on, Steam Elements. Get it right.
Yeah, get it right. Oh yeah, hey, Paul, are you that viewer that we have in there?
Yes, I am. I am that viewer. I am that man.
Hey guys, welcome to the
I
Bag
am
and Boardcast. It's episode number 614. I'm Chris.
I'm John.
Not Paul.
And we're a weekly podcast that comes to you in 3 ways.
The first being the Week in Geek, bringing the top geek stories of the past week.
Next is the list, the comic books that we are looking forward to coming out July 9th, 2025.
And then we follow that up with our weekly rotating main topic. And this week we're going to be taking a look back at some of the comic books that we read in June of 2025 with the monthly look back for June of 2025. We have special guest on the show, James Gunn down here. Hey, Paul, you look like James Gunn with your gray hair, faux hawk glasses combo right now. Should be your
nice.
your Halloween costume.
Should be. You know, I could totally do that. I was trying to think of a James Gunn reference, like what would he be holding, and then I came up with nothing.
But
Maybe he's holding a big.
What I'm holding is a listener request. It was asked, when are we going to do Beatboxes on the show? Which is a malt beverage made with like grape and orange juice flavored. And we're doing it. Paul and I have the same flavors. Chris couldn't find the same flavors. Chris, you could also double check to see if yours is the malt beverage version or the wine version.
Oh, wine version probably. Be
It just
better,
says
right?
contains alcohol.
Yeah.
Best served chilled. Yeah, where would it say that?
It would say like if it was a malt beverage based or ingredients. If it has that listed
Oh, okay.
on
No, it does say 500 milliliters contains sulfites, premium other than standard orange wine with natural flavors.
So you have the orange wine version. Paul and I have the malt version.
Yep. Flavored malt beverage.
My second one is also says that too. Okay, wow, I'm fancier than you guys today. Look at me. But what are you guys drinking?
Fruit punch, and it's 1 pint 0.0 or 0.9 fluid ounces of 11.1 alcohol by volume malt beverage flavored, so quote unquote, like fruit punch. Now I'm trying it frozen. This has been in the freezer for over 3 hours. I don't like it.
And I blended mine with ice, and I think mine tastes better because I drank a little bit of it before I blended it just to try both versions. I think the ice melting and watering it down has made it a little more palatable.
It's got an awful aftertaste.
Sweet fruit punch is weirdly grapey.
Yeah. I mean, and that's cough syrup grape. Like I said, like why I said, I'm like, ooh, fruit punch is kind of like a hard flavor for me. I don't like it often because it can go bad in so many ways where it's just like overly sweet, overly like weird fruit, like nondescript fruit sweet flavor, which isn't good. I'm looking at you, Fruit Loops. And then you got the medicinal cough syrupy kind of thing going on with the fruit punch, and I think this is more cough syrupy fruit punch. I do owe a tilt bet, so I will finish this. Because, Johnny, you did say last episode, you said a lot of things last episode. One of which was that, hey, this will, we're wiping the slate clean with this beatbox for tilt bets.
But going forward, this will be the tilt bet if we get engaged in something and it elevates and escalates to that point. To beatbox.
Yes, and you guys have owed both of you have owed me tilt things, but tilt doesn't exist anymore. So it's just been that thing of, hey, you guys still owe me those. But tilt belts we used to get if we got heated and engaged in I think I'm right, you think you're right, we would make a tilt bet, and then the next show, if you won or if you lost, you had to chug a tilt.
Okay, well,
at the beginning of a show, and then do the rest of the show.
See, Paul's chugging it to make it feel like oh yeah, that's right, I lost. But in actuality, he's just doing it so he doesn't have to continue to drink it.
Oh, now he's gonna growl and throw up.
Hey, 50-50, man. Both ways, I win. Chris, how's your wine?
I would not have put this at a fruit wine. Also, like I said, I have the Orange Blast, 11.1% ABV, and it does taste like an alcoholic, like Sunny Delight. Like it's just like big, like fake orange flavor. It's not bad. I think when I do the pink lemonade one, I might put it in a glass with some ice, just like thin it out a little bit, because they are rather harsh. It's not something you just want to sit there and like relaxingly sip on. Like,
I don't even want it sitting on my teeth that long. Like, I feel like it's developing like a weird film.
Yeah, they're not bad. I don't love this flavor. I've had better ones. But I was looking for the ones that you guys had, and like John said, I could not find them at my gas station. And I wasn't going to start going to different gas stations to try to find them. I was like, I'm here. I had ordered my sandwiches for dinner. I was like, I'm just getting these two. It is what it is.
I stopped at I was strategic. I knew which 3 spots I was going to stop at. Delta Sonic, the Tops, and the Wegmans that are all pretty close near Ridge. Not to dox myself, but those were the 3 stores I was going to hit up if I couldn't find them. If I didn't find it at my first, the Delta Sonic that I was at, the gas station I was at, then I would hit up the Tops, and then lastly the Wegmans. So,
I can't think of the name of the show, but what's the show where like the 4 business billionaires sit
Tank.
and then people Shark Tank. Beatbox on Shark Tank, one of the sharks picked it up, and you can watch it on YouTube, and you can also watch them like creating more flavors and stuff with the guy that did it with them.
Interesting.
It's interesting, but it started out as just they were taking making a wine out of orange juice, basically, and then flavoring it and making it that way, and then to get it into certain locations, they made a malt beverage version of it too.
Yeah,
that Paul and I are drinking.
Mark Cuban invested $1 million into Beatbox. In 20...
Bad boy investor Mark Cuban
14.
himself, huh?
Beatbox, also one of the highly stolen items from my store.
I mean, this kid's got to get their alcohol somewhere.
Yeah, and some of the other stores around me, it's from they get it stolen too. It's crazy, and I've caught this. The last time where I caught the person, it's somebody who
It's a little old
we
lady.
had caught before. No, it was maybe a woman in her 40s.
A little old lady.
I mean, still, if you're older than 18, these are super cheap. They're between $3 and $4 for a carton. Why? I'm gonna get some water.
So yeah, so
You should. Everybody should.
this woman would come in and she'd wear these big sunglasses. Just because she had these sunglasses on, I just remembered her, and she'd go into my beer cooler, grab a couple of beat boxes and walk out. And she's the only person I ever see grab beat boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit later, one of the maintenance people comes up and is like, "Hey, are these from your section?" And I'm like, "Yeah, those are mine." I found these in the bathroom. They shoved them in the sanitary slot. So I think somebody at a night crew is drinking your stuff overnight and sticking them in there. And I'm like, I only know one person who takes this, and it's this woman with these big sunglasses. So sure enough, it's her. Security chases her away. He comes back 4 months later. Again, big sunglasses. I see her right away. I call my asset protection.
Uh-huh.
They lose her. They find her. They lose her again. And then I call him. I'm like, she's back. So I'm pretty sure she went and drank the ones that she took and is now back to steal more. Chase her out again. They get her license plate. All the cops pick her up. They just happen to be she just happened to drive by him, pick her up.
DWI'd?
Yes. So
If that's not a glowing recommendation for Beatbox, I don't know what else would be.
So much.
she chugged 2 of them in our store, came back, got more, knows that she was getting chased. So I don't know if she drank the other ones in the car.
To be like, I don't have it, officer.
They picked her
Ossifer,
up,
I don't even know what you're talking about. I was on a podcast and I lost a bet.
we trespassed her, and she waited an hour and then took the breathalyzer and still failed it and got the DUI. I was like, well, at least we know she's not driving drunk anymore. Jeez Louise.
He's just going to
That's my
store.
That's my story about beatboxes. Cheers.
Cheers, boys. Yeah,
Cheers.
This one's not my favorite flavor. It's not bad, but I'm more looking forward to the pink lemonade. And I'm also looking forward to getting into the news of the week with the Week in Geek.
Guys, I just had that beatbox. I'm done. I'm going to bed.
Oh no, Paul drives a race car bed!
I only drive it while I'm sleeping. That's why I make vroom vroom sounds while I sleep. It's not snoring.
We'll start off with the sad news. We did have 2 actors pass away this past week. First with Michael Madsen at 67. And I didn't see a cause of death listed for him.
Cardiac arrest in his home.
Michael Madsen, known best from Reservoir Dogs. He was Mr. Blonde in that. Also, he was in Kill Bill.
Dad and Free Willy.
Yeah, he was
Free
the dad
Willy.
in Free Willy. Yeah,
Or the stepdad, foster dad? Foster dad.
yeah. Kill Bill. Played one of the assassins on that. He was kind of one of Quentin Tarantino's go-to guys. He was one of his boys.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's been in everything. He's been in big movies. He's been in really direct-to-DVD, direct-to-streaming things. Like, he's done everything. He's someone that people like to work with, and I think a lot of his demons kept him from really going far in the industry, but he was one of those people that I always enjoyed when he showed up in something.
Yeah, he had good presence.
He had a short-lived TV show that my family really enjoyed watching, where he was just kind of like a fixer. He'd help somebody have a problem. He'd show up, he'd help them, and then be like, "You owe me a favor." And then 3 episodes later, he'd call in that favor, and he'd to help somebody else out, kind of a thing. It was a pretty good show.
I think you're thinking of Tony Shalhoub in the TV show is Monk.
The Monk got paid.
Okay.
Monk got paid. And this had actually had a better quality than a USA sitcom. But it was a good show. And
I like
yeah,
Psych.
Michael Madsen, I always enjoyed when he'd show up in something, or you'd be like, oh, hey, there he is. Like, small role in Sin City as Bruce Willis's partner that betrays him and shoots him, you know?
He was Kilowog in the Green Lantern First Flight animated film from DC.
Yeah, perfect voice for Kilowog.
And then we also had another celebrity passing with Julian McMahon, who passed away at 56 after a fight with cancer. And Marvel fans may know him as the Doctor Doom from the 2006 Tim Story adaptations, or more commonly known as one of the doctors on Nip Tuck, was it HBO or FX series, like about plastic surgery?
FX, I believe.
Okay. I never watched it, so I was not 100% sure. But.
I think my mother-in-law liked Nip Tuck, and they would never like purchase HBO, so that's why I know if it's like FX. 'Cause-
I think it was one of those first shows that made FX, and people were like, "Oh, they make good shows." And then like The Shield was after that, and all those those shows to follow.
They did, some Prestige, and then Always Sunny in Philadelphia showed up there. Like, it was weird.
I mean, it's still
on
there.
it.
New season just started the other day, so yeah, moving.
Wait, I thought the woman on that is now on her own show, like Hi.
They all do their own shows.
Yeah,
And they also do Always Sunny still?
Yeah.
That's nice. That's a passion project at that point. You know, I got to give him props for that.
I will
watch
say,
it.
what's his name that plays Dennis? I'm blanking on his name.
Glenn Howerton.
Glenn Howerton. The TV show he did where he was like the professor who was kicked out of Harvard and then just took the job as the AP Bio teacher. Yeah. I forget what it was called. It was
AP Bio.
AP Bio.
Yeah, that's what he taught. I don't remember the name of the show.
Oh.
With Patton Oswalt. I actually really enjoyed that, like in a way that I did not expect. And then I tried to watch Caitlin Olsen's High
Potential.
High Potential. Thank you, Paul. And I was like, this is hitting me in the same way. So, some of it, hit or miss.
The guy who plays Mac, he had a pretty show that was well received on Apple. That was
Mythic Quest.
Like a Mythic Quest, yeah. Which I never saw.
It's supposed to be pretty good. I think it had like 3 seasons.
And then
he bought a soccer team with Ryan Reynolds, so there's that too.
Yeah. And what's his name from it is he makes movies. He's
Danny DeVito.
Really made it. Yeah, Danny DeVito.
He's been in a lot of movies. And also the guy that plays Charlie Day.
What's his name? Charlie Day. He's directed
that his name?
Yeah.
Is the actor named Charlie Day? Is his name in the show Charlie?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Rob McElhenney, who plays Mac, that's his nickname. Glenn Howerton's the only one that didn't want to be associated with the character, and that's why he's like, his name is Dennis. Yeah. I'm not Dennis. He is Dennis, though.
Charlie Day, he's directed a couple movies. He's the one that actually, out of those guys, has made it as a movie actor and has been in tons of stuff. Chris,
Rim.
One of your favorite movies, Pacific Rim.
One of my lesser favorite movies, Pacific Rim 2.
Horrible Bosses. Like, he's been in a ton of stuff.
But none of those movies are on our summer movie bracket, guys. That's right. Time to head it over to our summer movie blockbuster bracket buster. This past weekend, we did have Jurassic World Rebirth come out. Opened with $92 million, and that was its real weekend box office. That wasn't including the lead up to the weekend with 4th of July, just because this was a holiday weekend, so the movie did come out a couple days beforehand. But even if we just looked at the first 3 days of it, it still would have had like a really decent opening. 92 million though, and this actually puts Scarlett Johansson as the highest grossing actor of all time now, because of all the movies that she's been in that have done like $1 billion. Yeah, which is kind of surprising. It's Scarlett Johansson that, you know, coming from stuff like Ghost World and Lost in Translation, the movie where they had to steal like the test answers for the SATs. I forget the name of that one with Chris Evans. It was like a Fox.
Captain America Winter Soldier?
Yes, that was the one. But yeah, here she is now. And with this movie, we do have some shifts in point balances. John takes the lead with 9 points. I'm currently ranked second with 8 points. And then Paul falls to 7 with 7.
Yeah,
I said that in a weird
F1.
way. I don't know why. But yeah, Paul went F1 over Jurassic World, which is what cost him that point. I mean, I lost a point by going with Megan, so you never know what's going to trip you up, because all that takes is that one stumble.
I bought in the hype for F1. I thought the Jurassic World franchise I thought people would be over it.
You're not wrong, because people were. But now they're like, it's a new one.
But I really think the weekend helped it. I think I know we didn't classify the 4th of July weekend, the extra day didn't get. Well, no, because 4th of July was Friday. People had off on Friday, so that's the weekend. So
But it did release on the 2nd.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but
One
I
thing
really think
you
that
forget is every generation has those Jurassic Park movies. You know,
Yeah.
think about, like, we were little kids when we saw that. This is the ninth one? 10th one. No.
Jurassic
8th.
Park, Jurassic Park
7th?
Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, then Jurassic
And then
World,
the 3.
Fallen Kingdom, Dominion, now Rebirth.
So
So
seventh one. But those have all hit different generations, and like my nephew loves dinosaurs. He's seen all of them. This one they took him to go see it in the theater because he loves dinosaur. Grayson loves dinosaur. If we had the time with all the stuff that we were doing, we were planning on taking him on Sunday to go see it, just because it was like he loves dinosaurs. Like, we should take him to go see it.
At this point, though, aren't these like with starting with Jurassic World? I've only seen Jurassic World from that. Well, I saw Jurassic Park. I know I went to the drive-in to see Jurassic Park 3, but I see it. Yeah, that's right. Little flex. And then Jurassic World.
he had backed into the spot. He was looking at the tree line behind them, and he was like, "Do they show the movie on the trees?"
I didn't know. It's exactly what happened. It's almost like you were there.
Was I kept saying, Paul, you gotta turn around.
What?
And then
Where?
he just sat there flexing his arms at you.
Just like Machop, right? Isn't that a Pokemon?
That's a Pokemon.
Hey. But Jurassic World, I saw, and I'm like, oh, so they're making it just monsters now, just giant monsters. And then I haven't seen any of the other ones, but even with the previews for this one, it's like, oh, they're no longer dinosaurs; they're just horrible reptile mutants that are just huge and just more teeth or whatever they said. So it's not like you watch it and you're like, oh, there's a T-Rex. Oh, there's a Triceratops. There's a... Now it's...
But those are in it. And the T-Rex constantly was like the hero on their side that would show up to fight the other dinosaur and stuff.
Okay.
So, like, the other dinosaurs do show up, but you're going to make X amount of money from making this movie and putting it out and that. But you know where you're really going to make the money? Making the toys. My son has a bunch of those dinosaur toys that are made up dinosaurs from Jurassic Park movies. And he loves them. And they have like a little scan that you scan them on an app and it brings it up, and then you own that dinosaur in this app, and then you can scan other ones,
NFTs.
find other ones.
Your son's an NFT, bro.
Yeah. But it's half of it is for kids. It's selling toys to kids. And trust me, the Jurassic Park toy line and toy stuff is huge and expensive.
I just watched Jurassic Park again. And you guys know I kind of want a Jeep. But then I'm watching the original Jurassic Park and I'm like, man, Jeeps are cool. So I get it. Like, I'm watching that movie and I just want a giant toy.
It works.
Yeah. Marketing.
But that's where we're at right now for the summer movie blockbuster bracket buster. This weekend we do have Superman coming out, and then the following week we do have I Know What You Did Last Summer and Smurfs opening up. So those are two of the lower rung movies on the list that shouldn't impact too much, but Superman and Fantastic Four are the other two big movies this year, so it's going to really come down to those with their not just opening, but I guess they're opening, because if their opening isn't enough to propel it into like a strong second week, that's really what's going to decide the bracket this year.
I think with my bracket I'm already out because I'm 2 points behind John, right?
Yes.
And our brackets aren't that dissimilar enough for me to earn 3 more points than John. So I, again, will not win the bracket this year.
Now we'll just see how much you lose.
Yep, because John, I think Lilo and Stitch is also going to get more points for John than I am going to get. So I think yeah. Now I'm playing for second, maybe. So let's see how it rolls out. But I think I'm already out. Just doing the quick math.
We'll see how it shakes out there. And something else that we saw shaken out on the movie screen was in Sinners. It came out from one of the producers that a bunch of the costumes that they got for their background actors actually came from Marvel Studios, because they were costumes that were produced for use in Blade, when the original version of Blade was going to be a period piece, and part of it took place in the 1920s. And after that version of the movie was scrapped, Marvel was basically stuck holding the bag on all those costumes. So Sinners bought those at like a cheap price to use in their movie. So the headline I have for this one is Sinners is the closest thing we'll get to Blade. Paul has thoughts.
How crazy is it that Blade was released as like hey, let's test the waters to see if there's actually any room to produce like an adult or a teen superhero movie that people will go see. Let's test the waters. And then we got Spider-Man, X-Men. Like the whole late 90s, early aughts was because Blade did well. And now Marvel, who could produce anything, they got a Guardians of the Galaxy movie out.
Yeah.
Can't figure out Blade, something that was figured out in like 1997.
Yeah, it's disappointing because I love the Marvel movies having that big, sprawling reach, like things impacting everything else. You don't have to necessarily have that. You can build up to that, which is where they got their start. Like everything hinted towards something else, but it didn't necessarily fully depend on it. And it got to that point a little bit later on with some of the crossovers, but you could just put Blade out as a guy hunting vampires in a city at night. Yeah. His big bad is another vampire that wants to become the Daywalker. Yeah, we already saw that movie, but you can just do that movie again, and people are going to go see it. This should not be 10 years later, like we still don't have Blade because it keeps falling apart.
Did they get freaked out because of Morbius?
I don't think so. I don't think that registered at all.
Yeah, I don't think
Is Morbius an even worse movie now, knowing that maybe? No. That doesn't come up.
No.
Isn't part of that equation.
No, I don't think they don't even know who Morbius is. Anyone else have any other news before we move it along?
No.
I didn't know if Paul was going to have something because he was looking at his phone.
No, I was looking to see what the temperature was set at because it is getting warm in this room, but the computer's running. So I was going to dial back my thermostat, but it's okay.
John did the hand signal say he's going to get up and get a drink, so I'm hoping he's not getting another beatbox. I feel like it's way too soon. I'm probably not going to crack my next one until we get into the main topic. So while he's
only crack the next one if he's like, no, Paul, tilt bet, and then I'm like, okay, then I will. But
no, too soon. But Paul, why don't you kick us off with your book for the list?
Oh yeah, my book is going to be Fantastic Four, #1, guys.
Hey,
who knew Fantastic? In the year of our Lord 2025, that Fantastic Four would have another #1. Probably because there's a movie.
Would it shock you to know that there's 2 Fantastic Four #1s coming out this week?
Yeah, but the other one is First Steps, which is like, I guess, a tie-in to the movie.
Yeah, it's a movie tie-in. Which, interesting fact about that, it has the Mole Man in it, so it kind of spoils Mole Man being in the actual movie because it was announced like a year ago that comedian Paul Walter Hauser was cast in the movie as a mystery role. And when you read the Fantastic Four First Steps comic book, Mole Man is clearly based on him for a likeness. I was like, oh, okay. That's who he is.
Yeah, but this isn't that.
I heard John Malkovich's character got cut out of the movie.
He was in one of the trailers.
Cut out of the movie.
That's just being John Malkovich right there. Yeah, but I'm picking Fantastic Four #1, Legacy 727, which seems way too low for Fantastic Four. Written by Ryan North. Well, I'm enjoying.
He's one of your guys.
We'll talk about it soon. And this is splitting the Fantastic Four up into each one basically gets sent into another era, another time period. So, yeah, we're going to follow the Fantastic Four each individually in different time periods, which sounds fun. So, Ryan North, I enjoyed on Fantastic Four. He did a previous run, which I enjoyed with them being like, also with time, right? That was him with the Baxter Building and a whole city block of New York having to be displaced for like 1 year. And then the Fantastic Four basically all broke off because everybody hated the Fantastic Four because that's what happened. But it was like the only way to save that city block. There was a crater. That was Ryan North, right?
I don't know. We didn't read that one. You had us read the Dr. Doom writing the dinosaur one.
That might have also been part of that run. I'm excited. a new Fantastic Four #1 is an awesome time to jump back in, hopefully, for everybody. And I like the Fantastic Four. John.
Yeah.
Bud?
I am picking from Archie Comics, Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob, #1, written by Kevin Smith, 48 pages. And, yeah, Jay and Silent Bob make it to Archie's town. Randall Graves is a co-worker and has a budding friendship with Archie Andrews. And they're going to crash a Pussycats concert.
I shouldn't
think
be
this would-
surprised by this, but somehow I still am.
Yeah. Double-sized, can't miss event. And it's also for mature readers.
Yeah, that surprised me on this because I'm like, okay, well, we've had Jay and Silent Bob crossed over with other things that Kevin Smith has liked in the past. I think like them doing like a whole Degrassi episode with like the Degrassi The Next Generation, where they were filming like a Jay and Silent Bob movie in the halls of Degrassi. Like, okay, that's cute, that's fun. This just seems like really weird that like I feel like this had to be him calling in a favor to someone, be like, come on, let me do it, and I'm just like, all right, it can't be any worse than any of the other stuff we've done in Archie recently.
What I love is like the cover for this is the Clerks cover, and even Archie is like the cutout word saying Archie like it was in Clerks, with Archie doing the big hands thing over the thing. I am just looking for a fun. I haven't listened to Kevin Smith's podcast. I haven't watched any of his later movies, but as a teenager,
Yeah.
and also in my early 20s when like Clerks 2 came out, like I was a Kevin Smith fan. Mallrats, I love Dogma.
I look back on those movies fondly, but I don't think they've aged very well. And I think there are some really cool covers to this. One of the incentive covers, it's basically Jay and Silent Bob as kaiju, but it's like them from the animated series, and they're like crushing the town, and like Archie and Jughead and Benny and Veronica are like running from them. Love it. There's a cover by Mike Allred that looks like it's straight out of Chasing Amy. It's Archie, Betty, and Veronica like walking out of, looks like the Quick Stop because like the shutters are down, and Jay and Silent Bob like reading an Archie comic. For me, the covers are the best part of this crossover. There's like a sexy like Veronica and Blunt Man. There's like a sexy Betty and Chronic cover. All fantastic. The only thing that's holding me up on this is it's $8 for the issue.
I know.
Whoa.
Yeah, but again, it's 48 pages, so I can't pick up like two $4.99 or $3.99 comic books that are 22 pages and be like, yeah, this is okay, and not get upset by it when I have a 48-page book for $7.99. Some of the variant covers are a little bit more. The Buy Me Toys one is $12.99, but like you're going to pay a little bit of a premium at some of your local retailers if they're investing in having an artist do special covers for them. I'm really interested in this. So, John, if you actually do wind up picking this up, let me know how it is and if it's actually worth the investment, because this is something that I could buy. I had it as a soft pull on my list just to talk about in case I wanted to pick it to have something, kind of goofy to discuss. Luckily, I got that opportunity because John picked it. But yeah, let me know, bud.
Yeah, and to pick up, like to go, I haven't been to my shop in a while, but to swing by my shop and pick up the book, like to have that physical copy would be fun because like I have my autographed.
We're there.
Yeah, I have my autographed Dogma case, my DVD sitting over here with my autographed Mallrats one. Like I was a big Kevin Smith fan because that guy spoke my language of being like a comic book nerdy person.
Yeah, John's first words were "snooch to the nooch."
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he stole that from me. But even like when we met the artist who did first animated series and also went on to then do what was the spy, the cartoon Spy Girl with the Impossible.
Oh, okay.
He was at a comic book convention, and I have a Dante and Randall sketch that both Chris and I got the same thing, and he did both of them. But he was very happy and excited that knew that he did that show, and we talked to him, and he was like, "Yeah, doing this show is like what got me Kim Possible," because I was like, "Yeah, look at these lines that I do. It's got this interesting look," and they're like, "Yeah, let's do it."
That artist, James Silvani, later went on to go do a lot of the Darkwing Duck, DuckTales comics that came out later on from like Boom Studios and Dynamite. And had I known that at the time that he was a Disney Duck guy, I probably would have gotten a Darkwing Duck from him. But I stand by my Clerks animated series sketch because, come on.
Yeah. At the time, you can only make the pick with the knowledge you have.
Gotta go with what you know. Sorry, Toulouse was looking at me, and I just wanted to make sure she was okay. And I go with what I know because I have a new #1 coming out from over at Image Comics. And this is the Unchosen #1. And this is being written and drawn by David Marquez. And we have read stuff from David Marquez before because he actually did the Uncanny X-Men #1 that we read, written by Gail Simone. He did the artwork for that. And he's been on and off the book a decent amount in the past couple months. He was solicited as like the main artist on it, but he's been taking some time off to do other things. And I'm hoping that it was for this because his artwork is fantastic. And this is a premise straight off of like one of those early 2000s like cliffhanger style books. I will read it for you now. Not in a dramatic way, just in a regular way. But 13-year-old Ida wakes up in a city laid waste by a massive explosion. A scene of devastation that she caused. Pursued by rival forces wielding incredible powers, she must discover who truly wants to help her, who wants to control her, and the truth behind her own mysterious past. Future covers of this have Ida and like a bunch of other kids like wearing school uniforms, but they all have like superpowers around them. So it kind of reminds me of that Wildsiders book that J. Scott Campbell did like a couple years ago as well.
Was that Gen 13?
He did Gen 13, but then a couple years after that he did, it's kind of like a love letter to late 2000s like Beast Wars type stuff because it was a bunch of kids that get like animal totem powers. So it was like a big kind of like that, yeah. So there's like a Jack Black looking kid that had the powers of like a rhino, like that kind of stuff. This is right up my alley as someone that grew up loving stuff like Crimson and like Battle Chasers, Wildsiders, Gen 13, things like that. So that's my pick.
Also was on my list to be one of my picks because it's a very John book.
Yeah. This may be what I bring to the table for Look Back for July. It's going to really depend on how I feel after I read it. If I want it to be this or if I want it to be the Post Malone semi-truck driver who's like a descendant of like the Templar who drives a holy big rig. I don't know, because that book is kind of fun. Choices, man.
Yeah, choices.
And now, a dramatic reading from Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, #1, page 27, panel 8.
Ooh. Oh, my.
And that was a dramatic reading from Cold Day in Hell, #1, page 27, panel 8.
I was wondering if you're going to oh my it up when you see that. You got to go George Takei, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Thank you for pulling up
my.
the panel on the Twitch stream because I was frantically looking for it on my phone. So,
Wow,
I
Paul, it
appreciate
sounds like you're saying if you want to see what's happening as we record this show, you should just tune in on twitch.tv/baggedandboard to catch it in the moment.
you should. We go live probably. We do this pretty much every Tuesday, right? That's our kind of that's when we try to record.
Tends to work out, yeah.
Yeah, so Tuesdays like 9:00 ish, 8:30, 9:00 ish. That's when we go live on Twitch.
Yeah, or just follow on Twitch.
You'll get Instagram.
You'll get the notification that pops up when we're about to go live. And as soon as you see that notification, you probably got a good 15 minutes while we set everything up. And man, talk about setting them up. I'm knocking them down because I just cracked open my second beatbox for the night, boys.
I got it.
Great.
Mine's open.
So while you
I'm
guys
drinking it.
while you guys are getting acclimated, my second one is the pink lemonade. Also,
Paul, you got yours
11.1.
going?
Out of here, but let Chris talk. I haven't taken a sip yet. I'm afraid.
This starts off with that kind of country time pink lemonade flavor, which you're like, oh, this is gonna be nice, and then it just kind of becomes that overwhelming alcohol taste, which makes you just be like, ooh, gotta take another sip of this. I want that pink lemonade. That's where the danger is. That's where they're gonna get you on it. But yeah, this one's not great either. I don't think by default any of these are going to be great, but I have had some other flavors that I'm like, okay, I don't mind that because it does hit that kind of, I can't use the fruit punch one because I haven't had that, but that fruit punch adjacent flavor where you're like, all right, yeah, it's a fruit punch that'll get you fucked up. Like, cool. These just, they'll get you fucked up, but the flavor's not what I want it to be. And maybe if you're making like some sort of summer cocktail with this, like you throw this in maybe like an iced tea or something, like, all right, maybe that's the way I should be drinking it, but I'm not.
The fruit punch I put in the blender, I blend it with ice, and I think it made that drink better. Blue Raz, pretty good. It is blue raspberry up front. You get a little like booziness to it from that alcohol, but then it finishes blue raspberry candy. Like, it is, I'd say, head and shoulders above the fruit punch, because fruit punch had this weird grapiness. This is blue raspberry. It's blue raspberry, boozy blue raspberry. And it feels like, my tongue right now feels like I just ate a blue raspberry candy. Yeah, you stick your tongue out like, my tongue's blue,
camera.
right, guys?
Yep. It's a feature, not a bug. That's actually the genesis of blue raspberry. Is the folklore behind it is that some company was trying to come up with different flavors of sodas. They couldn't figure out a way to get a blue soda that wouldn't dye a person's tongue blue when they drank it. And then they realized, guys, that's not a problem. Sell it to kids. Kids will love that their tongue is blue. It's fine.
That's true. So as an adult even, I still love when my tongue turns blue, but I don't like when my poop is green. Also didn't like it as a kid. Scared the hell out of me if I ate like too much like Fruit Loops or something and the dye carried its way through my digestive tract. Scared me at one point when I was a kid. Called my mom in to look at my poops because I thought I was dying. True Chris story.
Hey, well, you don't need to worry about if they're green. You got to worry about them if they're black or swirls of blood are coming out of them.
Okay. I always thought it was because they wanted... they were trying to do a raspberry flavor, and red was too close to strawberry and too close to watermelon and other things, so they made it blue raspberry. So then it was that raspberry flavor to then go with those different candies.
And they they were afraid that they couldn't do it because then they were trying to figure out a different dye, a different color. They wanted to go with blue, and then they couldn't. They weren't going to do it because it was turning all the blue dyes that they could find that were edible, safe to eat, turn people's mouths blue. And they're like, well, we can't do it then. And then they're like, never mind. People will love it. And people do.
Yeah.
I do.
People do.
Before the show, John, what did I say about blue raspberry? It's never let me down.
It's never let you down.
I was like,
blue raspberry is fucking delicious.
You
man.
know what
Like,
you're
can I
getting.
say?
Like, yeah.
You give me a blue raspberry, any flavor, anything, and it's going to be good. And this proves it. Blue raspberry. If you need to cover up a really bad flavor, it is the vanilla candle of flavors. It is just like, oh, you need to cover something up, blue raspberry. Just fine. It's sweet. It has a nondescript but very unique flavor. It's hard to describe. It's not quite raspberry. It's not quite strawberry. It is blue raspberry. Yeah, and this is hitting it. This is good. Is this the party better together? Please drink responsibly. The number one party. What did they say? Party punch available on one of the boxes I read.
Yeah, I do want to say too. Each one of these servings is three. Like, these cartons is 3 servings. Servings per container 3.38. So it's a party in a box.
I think you have to say that because it's 11.1%.
It is, and also
I sell a.
It's kind of like when Subway came out and said, "Oh, a foot long." Oh yeah, that's not one serving. That's a foot long's 4 servings. You guys were eating the whole foot long sandwich?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And to that say, shut up, Subway. I know what I'm about. John, I know for a fact you don't sell these because you just told a story about how some woman was like ransacking your store, chugging them.
We sell another brand. I have 3 flavors. They're smaller than this, and they are 16%.
Ooh.
And it's just like, when those came in and I'm being stocked, and I look at it, I'm like, holy shit! Like, what is going on? Yikes!
See, I
Because
feel
even
like,
beatboxes when they came in, I was like, oh my gosh, 11% for sugar and fruit flavored. Like, what are we trying to do here?
I feel like this kind of thing is, and I say kids, not meaning kids, but I mean like anybody younger than me at 42. Like, you could be 40, you're a kid to me. I feel like these are just for the kids that are like, hey, like, we're gonna tailgate before we run into the movie or before like our game night. Like, we're all gonna just do a beatbox and go. Some of it also might be like, all right, hey, everybody grab a beatbox or whatever this other one you're talking about is, like the 16%. Like, everybody grab one. We're gonna make a punch with it, dump it in, like grab your cup, fill it with ice, and we're all
snake juice.
Yeah, we're making like a jungle juice kind of like a punch thing. Like, just bring something to add to it. Like, I get that. I don't think anybody's being like, oh, I had a real rough day at work. Really, we just gotta get home, decompress, take the edge off. Click a beatbox time. Like this. That's not what it is.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I was at the gas station and I bought the 2 beatboxes, and it's kind of like, there's no explaining it.
So Paul was embarrassed, so he was also like, give me those Magnum condoms, give me that Hustler, give me some of those cigarellos. Are they chocolate flavored? Yeah, I want those.
They're blue raspberry.
give me
Sold.
Got any Swisher Sweets? Yep, give me a couple of Swisher Sweets. Let's
give me you know what? Throw in one of those chews. I need some chew. And this beef jerky.
My mouth is surprisingly
Zin?
cancer free.
Oh, I needed some Zin.
Well, you got trucker boner pills? Yeah, give me a dozen of those.
Because at least that sells a lifestyle. Just buying 2 of these beatboxes is like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I got no story here. What's this?
Paul, you don't have a story here because your story is just beginning. Beatbox.
Where am I?
And like what?
Working a forum. I'm driving my work truck and I'm buying 2 beatboxes, and it's like,
They're probably like, oh, I'm glad this guy's not in charge of my security. He's just drinking beatboxes on the job.
They're in a cardboard box.
Hey,
They look almost like a juice box. They got
plastic
a twist
neutral.
top, so you can. Yeah, they got a twist top, so you can drink a third of this and save the rest for later.
she asked if I wanted a receipt. I'm like, no. She's like, you don't want the evidence? I'm like, exactly.
Oh yeah, she 100% thinks you're drinking at work now, Paul.
Oh yeah.
That guy's going nuts.
So when I stop at the 7-Eleven, like on my way home from work, I will often buy like a tall boy can because they have like the Voodoo Ranger stuff. They have like 4 Locos, so like I'll grab a can of that and like a piece of pizza or something just for the road to get me home. And like the common question is, do you want a bag for it? Because they are literally thinking like, I'm just cracking this can and I'm gonna sit on the sidewalk and like drink it because hey, that's where I'm at in Florida. Like it's a, do you want a bag for this? Not to like ease your carry. It's like, do you want a bag for this because you're gonna be drinking it out on the street corner? Beatbox.
Beatbox.
I know. I'm halfway through this one, and now I'm kind of like acclimated to that big alcohol pop on like the mid palate. So I'm getting more of that pink lemonade. And why does anybody drink a lemonade that's not pink lemonade? Is kind of the question I'm walking out of this with now.
I had a lavender lemonade not this past weekend, but the previous weekend. Delightful. Loved it.
I don't think I've ever had one of those.
I was talking to one of my beer reps for Community Beer Works, and he goes, like you get invited, like, hey, come to this place, some demos, blah blah blah. And he had another brewery rep say, hey, we'll do it together at Red Robin's. And he goes, that guy is like, everybody was standing in line. He's trying to give them samples. He's doing this. I'm just sitting there eating a bloomin' onion and going like, I can't wait for my burger to come. And then it's like, yeah, and he can drink all those speckled lemonades. Like, it's the best thing about going there is those strawberry lemonades at Red Robin's.
Have you heard about Paul's in-laws? Is it going to Red Robin or who's?
As soon as they hit the table, they say, "Hey, we're going to be ordering the burgers. Can we put an order of fries in now?" As they're sitting down, so, because they're on top of the fries, like the unlimited fry thing. They're on top of it. God bless them.
As a parent of 2, as soon as we sit down, we put in the kid orders. So they come out as soon as possible so we can feed those kids so we don't have assholes in the restaurant with us. So I understand. I can understand.
Yeah.
I understand that concept.
Yep. As soon as they sit down, they're like, "Hey, we're going to be ordering the burgers. Can we just get the fry order in now? Let's get some food into these kids." And they're like, "Hey, we're going to be leaving, so let's get another order of fries in so we can package it up." And I'm like, the fries are okay at Red. They're not the best.
I'm not a steak fry guy. Like, I'll eat them because they're potatoes, and by default, it's one of the best foods ever. But
yeah, they are potatoes. Yeah, I get it.
Guys, I'm gonna take a look at the episode hopper because coming up, I'm sure we do have a tier list. I think that tier list needs to be potatoes.
Ooh, I fucking love potatoes.
I mean, they're all S
Cook
tier.
them up, mash them, put them in a stew.
But
they're great.
There are certain potatoes that are better than other potatoes. So I think I'm calling an audible on this one. Whatever our next tier list is going to become potatoes.
Yeah, and like not every fry is made the same.
No.
Yeah, we
all the different fries: shoestring, curly, waffle, steak, home. Yeah, they're all different.
Yeah, I never was a huge fan of Red Robin.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
They need to be fried.
We gotta save the fry. We gotta save the fry talk, boys. We're shooting our wad now.
Paul just said his in-laws are like, we got to get another order, and he's like, they're okay fries. Like, they need to be fried more because they're too. I need crispy on the outside, soft on the inside.
But see, that's why I don't like the steak fry. They're just too much potato. You can never get it crispy enough.
But the thing is, with the Red Robin fry, you get them home. After they're cooled down, you put them in a freezer bag. You throw them in the freezer. If you got a toaster oven at home or a air fryer, whenever you want some fries again, you chuck those into an air fryer or a toaster oven.
Paul, you know nothing about me if you think those fries are making it even home. Because as soon as I'm in the car, I'm like, I'm going to eat these cold fries now. Oh, they're not good, but I need the sustenance. Carry me home, fry. Not home fries, but, home fries.
I think the last time I was at a Red Robin's, I think I still lived in, Lackawanna, and I might have been dating Caitlin, and Paul, you and Caitlin and I might have gone there. Yeah. It's just like a thing. That would have been like 10 years ago.
I can't tell you last time.
I haven't been to a Red Robin since.
I went to one, but I will tell you. First time
a free burger on your birthday. What are you guys doing? How aren't you cashing in on the free burger on your birthday? Doing
something better on my birthday, Paul. The first time I ever had an egg on my burger was at a Red Robin, and then I was like, oh, okay, I get this now. So that's the one thing I will come out of Red Robin with. Like whatever, like the Royale, whatever they called it. I was like, all right, I get this now. And it makes sense. Like, I know Denny's had like the Grand Slam Witch, which was like a burger with like an egg and hash browns on it. And I was just always like, no, but yeah, an egg on your burger is fantastic.
I would take a Five Guys burger over a Red Robin.
Mr. Moneybags over here dropping $30 on a burger. They finally there's a Five Guys at the mall where I work, and I have to be having a really bad day or just gotten paid that I'm going to be like, you know what? Let me go get the bacon cheeseburger with jalapenos and A1 sauce on it, because that's what I go for. Like, I don't buy A1 sauce, but if I'm at Five Guys, I'm putting that on my burger because I think it's delicious. It's just it's crept up too much in price, and they don't even put the extra like scoop of fries in it anymore.
Oh, real? They don't?
At least like my location doesn't.
I haven't. Or
if they do, they're doing it as show fries. It's not the full scoop. I'm on to you, Five Guys.
I went there not too long ago, and I got the extra scoop. I think that's just a Florida thing.
Just preying on those tourists.
Maybe you need to come back to New York, baby, because we got all the extra fries here.
Falling like rain.
Five Guys was when I ordered it online from me and Eric, drove there with Eric to pick up our order.
And then he was like, whoa, what are these guys up to?
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, we tried to text you. And I'm like, when? Like 2 minutes ago. I'm like, obviously I was driving here to pick up my order because it said it was going to be ready by now. And they're like, oh, yeah, so we didn't make it because we're out of buns. And I'm like, what? You're out of hamburger buns? And they're like, yeah. Do you still want the burgers? I'm like, I already paid for it. Like, so, and...
Did they give you options? Were they like, okay, well, we can put it on like a bed of fries, like garbage plate style? Did they...
No, they're like, we can just make it and then, like, package it up, and then, like, you could take it home. And I'm like... Can I just go to the Aldi that's right next door and like buy buns and then you can put it on? No, we can't take outside bun and like put it on the bun. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's fair. Yeah, just like I already ordered it, I already paid for it. You're going to either have to like uncharge my credit card or like I'm going to, and they didn't knock off anything on it for me or anything. They're like, I'm like, am I going to get a discount? They're like, oh no, you were already charged. Like, I guess we can make it without the bun. And I'm like, go ahead, make them without the bun. And then I went to Aldi, bought buns, and then came home and then put the burger on a bun myself.
So did that burger
That was
taste
the last
better
time.
because you half made it yourself? You were part of the process?
Yeah. I was part of the process. It was the Big Mac my way. Just like Kevin said from The Office. Yeah, and I haven't been back since. I did email customer service, and they sent me a $10 gift card, and I'm like,
You're like, I can't even buy a burger for this.
like my burger was much more expensive than $10. Like, yeah, granted the package of rolls from Aldi was like 99 cents, but still, like,
Yeah, there is that Aldi. Like, if you're stopping at the one that I'm thinking, there is that Aldi, like, right next door to
Right
it.
there.
Yeah.
yeah. So it wasn't that big of a hassle, but also, like, I went there thinking that my order would be ready, and then I was waiting for, like, the 20 minutes it takes them to actually put it all together, which I'm glad they're cooking. Like,
Yeah.
thank God they're cooking their hamburger.
But
all the way
also,
through.
that should be one of those
But
things that
still.
you're paying attention to when you're like, oh, we don't have any more buns yet. People are ordering burgers. Like, shut off the mobile order. Don't wait until 2 minutes before the pickup time and be like, oh, we don't have buns. That's a problem that you can see coming. That's the
yeah.
you had a heads up about that. Wow, guys. Welcome to Burger Time, your burger podcast, where sometimes we also talk about the comic books that
So
we read
also-
in June.
The problem with it is because I had to stop at Aldi on my way home. Now all the fries are cold because of the extra.
Oh, well,
10
Paul,
minutes.
I've heard from a podcast I
You're
listen
not
to.
eating those fries during the car ride?
No.
Paul, you just have to put those in the freezer bag, and then when you want fries, you throw them in the air fryer.
That's
That
your
one,
own fault.
those are
You
the
should have
leftover
been-
fries, not my first
should have been
fry.
snacking on those fries the whole time.
Yeah. Did you get some? Did you at least like get your fill of peanuts while you were there?
Yeah, while I was waiting, yeah, and
I would have taken them for everything they had. I'd be like,
of soda.
you're giving me a whole damn bag, and I'm just scooping it full of fries, motherfucker.
Paul just walks out with one of the cases of the peanuts that are just sitting there.
I
Taking
earned it.
these then. You don't have a bun for me? I'm gonna use these peanut shells as a bun.
Now I own 50% of the store.
Throw,
This
throw,
half
the,
is mine.
throw the shells on the ground, Paul. Texas Roadhouse it.
You owe me a cheeseburger. But back tomorrow when you have buns, sir.
I'm coming back with
But
my
you know what
Aldi's
we do
bun.
have?
You better be ready.
Know what we're ready with though? Comic book reviews.
Hey,
Right,
I'm always ready with comic book reviews. Heading into the main topic, our monthly look back for June of 2025. I don't want to say this is a mixed bag because there's a definite book that I liked more than the other two. Do we want to start off with what I'm going to assume is everybody's least favorite?
Yeah, let's.
Okay, and so I'm going to get this open
Well, thank
on
goodness
my...
this was a free comic book day book, right? Like, no.
Oh gosh, it reads like it should have been because we're all in agreement that the new history of the DC universe is the worst book of the month, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys, because this book did come at a little bit of a premium. Written by Mark Waid, art by
What?
Todd Knock. Great creators on this book. And DC, you are telling me that I am going to be getting the new canon retelling of the entire history of the DC universe. And boom, right from the get-go, it starts off with Barry Allen, who we find out is like chronicling his journeys through time and the multiverse with the DC universe. And then what we're treated to for like the next like 40 pages is
Is this her blog post?
it's just posts and again, it's artwork of everything that's happening in the DC universe, and there's nothing wrong with the artwork, and then there's not necessarily anything wrong with Mark Waid's writing, but what you are treated to is just caption boxes of And then the Guardians of the Universe created the Manhunters. And Paul's holding up his copy of the DC Comics Encyclopedia, which I think, Paul, would probably be a more engaging read. Because, yes...
It's the same kind of read, and I was really hoping that on the back there would have been a price here. And I wouldn't be shocked that if this was only like 2 or 3 times the amount.
Yeah, I think like that nice coffee table book, like $29, probably.
Yeah. And how much was this comic book?
I don't remember now. I apologize. I should have that handily available. But when it just started off with that first, like, I'm Barry Allen, like, I've been everywhere, I've done everything, I'm going to chronicle this. I'm like, okay. I wasn't expecting like a framing reference like that. Cool, Mark Waid, you have my attention as someone who is a chronicler of DC history. Let me see what you got, because I already know he's a master storyteller. And then, again, the next 40 pages are some decent artwork. Todd Nauck does do a good job bringing a lot of deep-cut characters to life, but there's really no... I don't want to say no plot, because it's literally just a history book, but there's nothing in the framing reference that's kind of like pushing it forward. You're just hearing Barry Allen tell you about, and then the Wild West happened in the DC universe, and then here's all these guys that you've probably seen in a panel of something. It felt so hollow and so empty, and someone else talk now, because I need a drink.
No, it's exactly that. And it is like, and then these characters, you remember this? And then there was a pharaoh. And these people that are gonna be Hawkman and Hawkgirl. And then there were pirates. It is not what I had expected. And if it was one of the things, like, if I had gone to a comic book shop and thumbed through it, I would have put it down.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was expecting, like, give me the start. Give me a couple pages of story of characters happening, not just this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this. I was like, I don't want to say I was livid, but I was like, fuck you that you sold me this. Like, yes, Paul, you nailed it on the head. This is a free comic book.
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't have paid a $4.99, if not more, price for this, because there's no story, and it's stuff that it doesn't even go. This is the new history. It doesn't even go into the stuff.
Yeah.
To tell you anything about it. It's just like, this happened, this happened, this happened. Yeah, that happened in the old history too. I know enough about DC history that these are things that all happened. I know these characters. You're not giving me anything that I don't know as a comic book fan.
But you're not giving it even in an engaging way. Like, if they had taken the same stuff, if like there had been 2 pages about the Big Bang at the dawn of time, and Perpetua creating the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor and the World Forger, and I see that play out. Okay, 2 pages of the Endless coming with, like, Ferris, be quiet. Like, yes, okay, like 2 pages of Lucifer, like, falling, 2 pages of Eclipso, and the Spectre coming to be, like, as the Avatars of Vengeance. Okay, I'm getting some story. Like, give me character. Don't just give me beats. And it was as soon as I was, like, 3 pages into it, I'm like, oh, this is what's going to be. Guys, that's when I actually, like, zoned out on this book, and I was like, I'm kind of sleepy. Maybe I take a nap.
It is a difficult read because it's just like beat after beat after beat. And every once in a while, Mark Waid tries to tie in things to what they mentioned before, or what he mentioned before, but it doesn't really tie in. Like all the, like I'm like, oh, the Lords of Chaos, Lords of Order. Is it now more connected? Is everything more like integrated? No. And to John's point, yes, this is not the new history of the DC universe. It's, hey, remember the New 52? Guess what? We're back, baby! No more New 52. We're back to the old continuity. We pulled the ripcord. We are back to pre-52, New 52 continuity. Everything that has happened, even Haunted Tank.
Yeah, which
Everybody
some
wanted
of
the
the
new
stuff
Haunted-
is fun to see pop up, but there's nothing done with any of it. It's just there
Yeah.
as like and then there was a Haunted Tank.
It's
And
all
that's it.
springboard. It's all showing you what could maybe happen, stories that can now take place in this new continuity. But unfortunately, with DC, I have no trust that any of this will move forward.
And here's the thing: is if this was like if what they gave us in this thing was the 0 issue, and at the end of all of these, it was like, check out Dr. Occult and the Mystery Society #1 coming in August or coming in October, or I'm talking about this because I'm telling you what is coming out of this book. But there's nothing coming out of this book.
No.
In fact, to your point, John, at the very end, it's all the old issues where they pulled all this information from. This is a book that's definitely looking into the past without looking forward. And I think I wouldn't like what you just said, John. I would 100% agree. I wouldn't mind this format, this style of telling me if I got editor notes every once in a while to be like, hey, read this.
I'm gonna
like this idea. This. Even if it's books that are already out, because now we're living in the digital age where everything's available.
I feel like
So
at
go
that
back
point, though,
and find
Paul,
these books.
I feel like at that point, I don't need to read it because you just told me about the Haunted Tank. Like, I think if I'm on that page right now, if there had been like that mention of the Haunted Tank, and then it like popped out like, all right, Haunted Tank appearing in Weird War Tales #1 coming out next week. Like, maybe a little bit more, but like, I don't want to be goaded into reading back catalog stuff, especially when I paid $5 for this, because at that point then you're just banking on like previously collected material that you want me to go back and be like, oh, that sounded neat, let me go back to it. Like, you're not getting me excited for anything.
And I agree. If that's what they did, then this needs to be a free comic book day book. This needs to be,
and this
like,
is just
a
book 1. I think there's 3 more of these coming out. And you already told me with that first one, I don't need to read the next 3, DC.
And what they get you on is what they sold it as. And I mean, basically what they sold it as you get. But what they sold this book as, with Chris Samnee art, which is very Darwin Cook, I'm feeling like I'm going to get Darwin Cook's New Frontier out of this, of a retelling of these things coming together, of, okay, antimatter, this stuff happens. Here's the story of all these things leading together, not just boom, this happened, boom, this happened, boom, this happened, boom, this happened. Why? Yeah, exactly. Paul has his
I'll read DC New Frontier right now. That sounds like a great idea, guys.
Exactly. This book should have been... I thought this was going to be a story with vignettes.
Yeah.
You said, Chris, 2 pages, 3 pages.
You have it
just a page
set up.
Hey, look, it's the losers hanging out on Dinosaur Island. How crazy is that? What a crazy thing. That's fun.
You have this being set up by Barry Allen, like writing these as memoirs. Have Barry Allen running through time. Have Barry Allen like in the background of the creation of the Manhunter Corps. Like have him giving his opinions on it, his thoughts, even like something to tie that into something, not just be like, and then the Guardians created the Manhunters, and then the Zamorans broke off. Like that's not engaging.
You want Barry Allen running through stuff? Oh, cool. Yeah, got it.
There you go.
Yeah,
And the thing that gets me about this is if this is what this book was planned to be, why do we need it? And I know, like, we've sat around, we've had these conversations as comic book fans on a podcast of what is the timeline? Is this still real? Is this not? They mentioned it in this, but they are not taking that into consideration for this. What does this do? This doesn't help anything. This doesn't give me anything to answer those questions that we've had. All it's done is made me feel like I've wasted my money. And I'm like, it's like, shame on you, Mark Waid. Like, I know you got a lot going on, but you just phoned this in. And you sold me a bill of goods that is missing half of what it's supposed to be.
I have to guess this is supposed to be the new Secret Files, Secret Origins kind of.
No, Secret Files and Origins actually had story in it, though. Because, yeah, you might have had a page that was like, all right, the history of Firestorm, like Dr. Martin Stein, like Ronnie Raymond.
It was.
And, yeah, but then you would have something after that which was like a cool Firestorm story in like 3 or 4 pages. And you're like, wow, I didn't just read about who Firestorm is. I saw like what he's about. Like I got some of that interplay, not just like, oh, their minds melded in like the Matrix. They're both doing bigger things than they are. Like, no, I then got to see it. This is literally.
I was thinking that the Secret Origins that I've picked up have been like, oh, this page is Fire. Okay, Fire. She also teams up with Ice. She's Brazilian. She has this powers. And it, like a big, like little card decks, and then like a splash page of Fire.
Yeah, but those stories. But those stories would then also have like extra content in there, like those actual like real comic book stuff, which is like the draw of reading that. Like it wasn't like an annual, but you would get something in there that was kind of hitting at the core of that character. That it might not be setting something up, but you would come out of it and be like, oh, that was a cool story about the Ryan Choi Atom, because it was in like the Justice League Secret Files. Like, cool. Nobody focuses on Ryan Choi Atom. Like, I got a cool story about him. Nice. I now know more about that character. This doesn't even do that, because it's like, oh, there was a high school student that, and this is jumping ahead probably to like issue 3, spoilers. Ryan Choi, a student at Star Tech, experienced the White Dwarf, and he also became an Atom. That's all we're gonna get from that.
And Paul, like, there's the Secret Files that like Chris is talking about that came out more recently, and then there was those other ones that was it was just like, this is book S. It's all the S characters from SE to SP, and you'd open it up and it'd be like Matter Eater Lad, Manhunter, this, and it would just give the stats.
They're upset that I opened up the S book and got. I'm sorry, Judd. I had to.
No, you're right. You're fine. But I was just trying to think of like it was full of like your obscure characters, which now you have in your DC encyclopedia that you pulled up. But it was, and it might have been called like, I don't think it was called Secret Files, but I have a couple of those issues, and it was just like, this character, here's its stats, here he is, first appearance, all of that. It was like the trading cards in a comic book before there were trading cards of comic book characters. So I know like what you're talking about, but even that was more interesting because you were picking that up to have a collection of
Yeah.
these are these characters, and I can look up their first appearance because the internet didn't fucking exist then, and
Yeah.
you
Right.
didn't have people talking, and that was your way to know more about these characters
Yeah, these
to do that.
they're not
Yeah.
even characters. Like I'm looking at one of it's at page 32 of the 43, and it's going into in their place a short-lived Justice Alliance formed under the leadership of mutant Captain Comet. Despite their valor, the team of Prince Ra-Aman, Automan, Tigerman, and Congarilla was unable to fill the void left by the JSA. You don't give me anything about those characters. I'm not seeing the history of the DC universe. You're just telling me something. And then the Vietnam War happened. And then we moved forward. Like I'm not getting anything out of this.
Right.
This you don't need to tell the story. I certainly don't need to read it. And I should not have spent $4 to $5 for this. When DC, you have other books that I much rather would have checked out and given that money in hopes to be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should be reading Fire and Ice or coming out next month. It's like Cheetah and Jade like rob the Justice League. Like I rather would have put my $5 towards something like that, but now I don't have that $5, DC.
And all of this stuff in these character moments of explaining where they are and when they happened, like all that stuff can be told so much better. Like just thinking about like Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
Like that was the first time I ever really had any experience with Vigilante and the Shining Knight and those characters. Give me something more of like, and then Merlin, he knew something was awry, so he.
And then Sir Justin became the Shining Knight. That's it.
That's it. What do I need that fucking for? Like, I'm pissed about this book.
Yeah.
Because
I get it,
and
guys. I hate showing or telling and not showing as much as anybody else here.
Yeah. And I know somehow, Paul, you're the one that was like, yeah, and you pull out your other books to say that, and we feel like we're arguing with you about it. Because you're also just like, yeah, it fucking sucked, guys. Thanks for making me buy it. I have better books to read. And then we're like, and then, Paul, it's this. And you're like, yeah, you're fucking over it, guys. And we are. Let's move on to our next book. Paul, what book did you bring to the table?
I brought to table Crypto, The Last Dog of Krypton, written by Ryan North. I don't have the artist in front of me right now. Chris,
Mike Norton.
Pull that. Mike Norton. Oh, no one.
Norton, we got Norton over here. See, nobody cares.
We got Norton here. Cares. This is
That's
a
not. I'm sorry. That's a Jurassic Park reference, and it's actually Dotson. I don't know why I said Norton. I mean, those names are pretty close, like semantically.
Yeah, but
I
there's
guess
actually the Dotsons, Terry Dotson, and
there are the Dotsons. That would have been a better joke if it had been Dotson. We got Dotson over here.
yeah. But Mike Norton.
But guys, what you've missed is as soon as you swipe on